Hi guys, welcome to another podcast. I'm with Jimmy and Andrew, and we have a guest this week. His name is Matthew.
Hey.
So thanks for joining us. So
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
Yes.
Can't wait.
So as it happens, we have decided to talk about Batman movies. So I hope you're ready.
Well, we'll talk about the best Batman movies so far. Teresa and Andrew say it's The Dark Knight, which I'm not too surprised. My one's actually Batman Begins. But we were actually debating which one's the worst Batman movie, Batman and Robin or Batman versus Superman. And also, you guys are saying Batman. Andrew's saying Batman and Robin is worse. I say Batman versus Superman is worse. Although, if we could talk about every Batman film, the best one would be Batman Beyond Return of the Joker for me, but that's cartoon animated. So we could discuss that later. But yeah, we're more hitting on about which one's worse. So Matthew, what about you? What's your best and worst Batman movie in total?
It's gonna be a polarizing opinion, but I really liked The Dark Knight Rises more than The Dark Knight. I thought The Dark Knight was good and Batman Begins was good, but Dark Knight Rises, Tom Hardy's performance as Bane was incredible, and also seeing Bruce basically broken down to nothing and then being able to come back and still save the day. I mean, that was amazing. And the fight scenes and everything were really great too. I feel like The Dark Knight's more of a thriller sort of action, whereas The Dark Knight Rises is more of a sort of a brutal action, sort of similar to I don't know, maybe Deadpool or something. Well, not as bloodthirsty as Deadpool, but really full on, all the action sequences, Bane doesn't hold back when he breaks Bruce's back and everything like that. Whereas The Dark Knight is Joker sort of playing on Bruce's psyche, I guess. So the Dark Knight Rises is probably my favorite Batman movie. I guess the one I hated the most was I don't even remember the name of it actually, but whatever one had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it with the
Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze.
God, that was awful. I did have a crush on Poison Ivy for that film though. I think it was Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
She looked amazing. That was an awful movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very camp. And they tried to go on the comedic route and it didn't quite work. So you know what? Sorry, George Clooney, it just wasn't working. I mean, I've had a friend theorize that. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you go first, Andrew.
Yeah, I think I agree with Matthew. Well, the honest word that there's too many ice. The ice is coming. Ice dab. Ice D. The cold's icy.
Come on, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. See, you're laughing though. See, that's why I say it can't be the worst. We're laughing about it. But Batman versus Superman.
We're laughing at how bad it was. Though.
Yeah, it's just
yes, but that's why we don't like how bad Batman versus Superman is. Therefore, that's why it makes it up to Batman versus Superman.
Well, I guess in that movie's defense, what is it? Batman Forever, was it?
The Batman versus Superman, the one with Zack Snyder, where Superman.
No. What was the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Batman Forever. Oh, Batman
Forever. In defense of Batman Forever, we do look at that from a 21st century point of view, So a lot of the stuff that we're used to seeing, like CGI and all that stuff, it just wasn't available then, I guess. So that's a small amount of defense.
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel sorry for all the people who made it.
They probably did the best they could with the lines that they were given. And it's the writing probably sounded cool in someone's head, but it's just no, it just doesn't actually work in real life. Sorry, Arnold. Sometimes you just have to keep those lines to the Terminator and just stick with that. Sometimes that's just
ice down, get down, put the ice down.
Batman vs Superman was bad as well. I can't even get that quote out of my head. Do you bleed?
Does the Snyder Cut help any?
It helps the plot holes, like the beginning about how Superman was framed. He wouldn't use guns, so the Snyder Cut shows that the terrorists, the people that framed, actually burnt the victims instead of just shooting them, and then just add more evidence, like why didn't Superman detect the wheelchair bomb was made out of lead, and there's other minor stuff, but he just makes it longer. And I feel like you should just avoid making it this long in the first place. Like Lex Luthor's plan was so elaborate. Like there's many simpler ways to do it. Like, for example, instead of making focus on the Superman interfering, maybe Lex finds out the clues that it was Superman's fault that Zod attacked them in the first place from the first film. Adds continuity while making the film like take out 30 minutes short. Not to mention it adds to the point where Batman would hate Superman because it was Superman's fault the town was attacked in the first place. That saves like 40 minutes of elaborate framing and thing. It also makes it more gray instead of less black and white. And that simplifies 40 minutes of it. There's also issues as well, like but I'm just saying like the side cut just mostly explains plot points and put some more hits to the Justice League movie because it adds D-side. The one that is Darkseid's servant. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I think it's Desart, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think the side cut is a more longer thing. Doesn't make it too much more enjoyable. Although it gives more reason why Superman doesn't like Batman, because it also shows him investigating Batman beforehand and how he's hated and feared not hated, but more like some of them like him, some people are more fear. Also the Bat branding is causing prisoners to get killed because I don't know why, I thought they explained the thing, but getting branded by the Bat causes you to get almost killed in prison. I thought the reasoning why that makes sense because criminals like you're the victim of Batman, not because you're a snitch or anything. So yeah. Also, it shows a bit more about how Bruce stole the kryptonite in the first place, which is a good scene. But yeah, it's just more exposition and yeah. But I said the reason why is that the people you can make laugh is about the meme about Batman and Superman. The reason why I start fighting Martha, why'd you say that name? It's his mother's name.
Why you say Martha?
We're now friends now. That's the thing that people can constantly laugh about that, but we can't laugh too much about everything else. But Batman and Robin is just so many puns and jokes that can mark that it's more enjoyable that way. Instead, like, okay, I mean, there are some counter arguments, but I'd rather not play devil's advocate to go against my own point. So why don't you guys do it?
What did you think of the fight scenes though, Jimmy? Did you think they like lived up to the comic book movies of our time, or?
Yes, but I said some of the fight scenes in Batman and Robin were okay, hilarious as well. But I said the best one was Batman sticking and taking all the goons. The Batman versus Superman fight, like I actually read some articles about that. It doesn't actually represent the Batman thing because it's supposed to be brain versus brawn. All he did was use kryptonite to make him weaker to fight. He doesn't really use his brain at all. Not to mention, the whole point is like, why does he attack with the spear first? Why? The kryptonite gas used to be a waste of kryptonite. And it was not really a trap that worked because Superman was more dumb than Batman being smart. Like if you watch the Dark Knight Returns cartoon animation, that's a bad example of brain versus brawn, where Batman uses his gadgets more creatively to trap Superman without killing him as well.
I would argue that Batfleck in general just didn't really do that much stuff with his gadgets at all across, across that movie, across Justice League. Like he uses it sometimes to escape and stuff, but he doesn't use them as sort of creatively as Christian Bale's Batman did. Like Christian Bale always had like backups of everything. He used nearly every single tool in his arsenal. Whereas like Batfleck was quite, I don't know, he had more flashy cars and stuff, but he didn't use many of like the handheld stuff. Like all I vaguely remember is him using the gun with the
grappling
the grappling gun. Like that's all I remember him using from like say the final battle with Steppenwolf.
No, Doomsday. Steppenwolf.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, fair enough.
Doomsday, yeah, but okay, he did use his gadgets in the goon battles when he had to rescue Martha. Remember, he used the gadgets like jam the guns and boomerangs and attack from the bottom to knock them down from the top. And yeah, And he did creatively save Ma from the flamethrower and to kill the other person as well. But that's why that's the best scene, because it shows Batman using gadgets and planning ahead to take out goons. But I said the rest of the, it's not too much you remember of the fight scene, because the beginning, Superman attacks someone. I don't do that. It's also the nightmare scene where Superman goes crazy and kills everybody. That nightmare scene.
I thought the best fight scene was against Doomsday with, like, obviously the inclusion of Diana. Like that was probably the most exciting one.
I didn't find that too much exciting because Superman goes up in space. And not mentioned how Superman died was kind of stupid because, throw the spear instead of flying towards him so that you don't get hurt. Get Wonder Woman to use the spear. Superman uses NASA. Also, there's no real need for Superman to sacrifice himself unless he wanted to kill himself. So just
Superman's an idiot. Superman could be an absolute tank. Like, if he obviously he's different in comics versus the films, but like he's so strong and so powerful. Has anyone had the idea to go, hey, Superman, want to learn a bit of martial arts? Like, he just like charges at them and haymakers everything because he relies on his strength and speed. But like, if he actually knew martial arts, he'd be able to rip every single person apart. Like,
he does learn it eventually.
Teach him some Wing Chun or something.
And also the Superman, they don't give a fuck. They like to destroy the building. Oh, fuck you, all of you, destroy the building.
Yeah, but when he goes up against Darkseid eventually, he's gonna actually meet his match in physical combat.
Well, we don't even know how it's going to happen in the future, but Superman does actually have something. He has to know how to restrain. Like, in every film, he actually holds his punches, so he actually knows some style of fighting to control himself. In fact, that's why when he goes full out, that's when he actually rarely does go full out. So he does have some fighting experience, but he actually learns some more fighting styles. Well, it depends on which version you're talking about, but I'm talking about one of the comic book. He learns some from Diana and Batman. And in Dark Knight Returns, the sequel, he actually learns martial arts that he could take on 20 Kryptonians at once quickly. Like, he actually breaks their birds at the speed of light.
Yeah, but if you watch Justice League, when Superman gets revived and you see him trying to punch the Flash, he nearly trips over swinging a punch. That's not martial art. That's like, he's strong, but he's like terrible.
But
he is very terrible. Yeah.
I don't know what because of the Flash, because the Flash is actually more faster than everyone. So the Flash can dodge without trying, although Superman's the only one who could see him in slow motion, apparently. But anyway, you're not actually debating my point. So you're saying this is still better, Batman Superman is still better than Batman and Robin, though? Because that's my point anyway in the beginning. So you're starting to agree with me because you seem to be bashing the Batman versus Superman more than bashing Batman and Robin at this point.
Here's a question about Batman and Robin. How did they get Bat credit card? Did that owned by Bat Bank or Batmobile, or did it owned by Bank? So
look, the people love him, so obviously the government awarded him a special credit card to spend as he likes. I mean, he was on auction to date people, so clearly he's popular in that city. Also, you have the themed credit cards, like those in this MasterCards have themed credit cards. So maybe they do in Gotham City, they had a Batman credit card for everyone, but Batman has his own one because he likes to troll.
God damn it, Batman! I want that card.
A joke, a 5-second joke here. It's not like Batman Superman, because the complaints are part of the main plot. This is a joke. Compared to like Martha, that's supposed to be a serious scene. So you can't say that the jokes are so bad it's good, but at least they're supposed to be jokes and what you're complaining about. I'm not complaining about the main plot here. I mean, Mr. Freeze's plan to freeze the entire city is kind of stupid and overreacting because he thought his wife died. But it still makes more sense for Lex. Like, why does Lex hate Superman or Batman? Although this Slack side kind of implied it was because he's brainwashed by Darkseid or something, but he was just crazy. Well, Mr. Freeze had a motive, and it was based on the Batman animated series cartoon that he wanted to save his wife. Poison Ivy was murdered. Well, yes, it's the same as the comics as well, and
Okay,
but it makes sense.
Let's talk about the Poison Ivy on Batman and Robin. She's pretty good, but there's too much sexual. It's like, come here too much. It's too much.
But isn't that
Okay.
her character? Like, isn't
Yes.
how she was in the
That's
comics?
also
that-
like all of the teenagers like wishes, like
yeah, so
that's
it's
the
like
reason-
that's not a fucking. I mean, you might not like it, but it's part of pretty much comic book. It's kind of like a standard thing that happens. Even like Harley Quinn, they're just that's part of design. But
Oh yeah, Harley Quinn's the only one who can control Poison Ivy in the Batman cartoon.
mm.
I know, basically because Poison Ivy's bisexual or is it or gay? I forgot. But she
Well, I
definitely-
mean,
because
Yeah.
Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are dating, so that means because basically Poison Ivy felt sorry for Harley Quinn because of the Joker at first, and they started dating because of that. But the thing is, like basically Harley Quinn can stop Poison Ivy destroying the dam by just crying, "Please don't poison the dam," and that actually worked because all she has to do is cry. She's like Poison Ivy gives in.
I think Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn are best friends.
no,
that,
they're
too.
probably because I mean, almost every second character is now LGBT these days. So she probably is bi. Well, they would say she's bi, but she probably is in a lesbian relationship with Harley Quinn. Because a lot of fans wanted that right from the get-go, just because they like seeing two women get it on. It's kind of a thing I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's be real. These again teenage boys. Come on. They're not exactly the most complex creatures, are they? Not always.
Hey, no teenage
Are
girls
you
who want to boy on boy, okay?
Well,
It's
I mean-
Supernatural.
Oh,
How many
God,
female
really?
fans want two
Well,
brothers to get
yeah,
on?
and the angel too. So you know what? People want what they want. It's just, I guess, it's human nature.
I've
No,
got an
no
idea for
judgment.
Millennial Story too.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what?
Okay.
Whatever helps. Let this
Whatever
be a
helps
segue
sell.
to Matthew's awesome short, Millennial Story. It's now on YouTube. Do check that out. It's also finished its festival run, so congrats. So use it as
Yeah,
an
thank you.
opportunity to spruik what Matthew does because he's a filmmaker, among other things. But okay, so I will now backtrack this to what were we talking about? Batman for was it Batman and
We
Robin?
talk about the Poison
Batman and
Ivy.
Robin.
You bring
Which one's the worst one?
Which one is the worst
Okay,
one?
so- yeah, we already did that. I think right now, like, do you have any more points to counter why it's worse than Batman versus Superman in the end, though?
Huh?
Like pacing, said Batman versus Superman is also longer pacing wise. Like Batman and Robin, a lot of things happen shortly, and then that makes you laugh, and you don't really care too much. But it felt short, and I don't feel bored watching it. While Batman versus Superman, like I will never watch some parts again. Some of it.
you forgot something, Jimmy. We forgot the Lego Batman movie. We forgot.
You've seen that?
I haven't seen it though, so I can't say if it's better than anything else. But it said from what I saw, like I saw the opening, which is good, but it's comedy as well. But it said you haven't watched the cartoons either, movies like Batman Beyond, which is my favorite one overall. Like, wait, have you seen Batman Beyond, Matthew, by any chance?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Nope, I haven't seen it.
It's actually very different. Okay, so Batman Beyond is set like, I don't know what in the future. I don't know how, but Bruce Wayne's like 80 years old, so I don't know. He gave him up to be Batman because he had a heart attack, and then basically Terry McGillis, his parents got killed, and he actually is from someone that's in Bruce Wayne's company because he lost his company to the villain, and the villain gets his dad killed. So the teenager tries to track, asks Bruce for help, and finds out that he's Batman, steals the suit, and stops the villain basically. And then he ends up becoming a permanent Batman because Bruce Wayne, while reluctant at first, is impressed with Terry's ability to stop the crime. And then there's more to it, but yeah, they eventually lasted 3 seasons and 1 movie. And the 1 movie is is really, really good. And I consider definitely the best animated cartoon, and I would argue the best movie overall. I mean, people love Master Fantasia of the Batman cartoon, which a lot of people know about because it was made with a higher budget and better animation overall. But Return of the Joker was dark, but with a bit of hope in the end. And the best way to fight against the Joker fight ever. One of my favorite fights, how the new Batman defeats the Joker. I mean, you want me to spoil it for you, or do you guys just
Don't mind.
Want to?
No,
What?
no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
all right.
go ahead.
That's all right. That's all right.
So back
But,
in the UK, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead,
He
Mr.
mocks
Story
the
Boy.
Joker. He kept saying, "You're not funny," and he kept mocking him like, "This is how you became a villain. You're not funny." And it causes the Joker to get really angry and make mistakes. And yeah, the Joker was mocking you Batman. You're nothing. I know every move of the original Batman. You're just a punk. And it's like, you don't know anything about me. And it's like keeps fighting, and Bruce says, just give him advice like, this Joker's vain. Just ignore all its taunts. But then Terry's like, I love to talk. And then basically, and Joker's like, I know every move, go ahead. And Terry just kicks him in the balls. And like Joker's like, what the heck are you doing? Playing Dave. The original Batman would never. I told you you knew nothing about me. And they kept mocking him about, yeah, same thing for you nothing. And he said, I know why you were fixated on the original Batman. It's because you couldn't get him to laugh. Get a clue, stupid clown. The original Batman doesn't have a sense of humor. Not that you ever had a funny joke to begin with. Yeah. And then basically, yeah. But wait, the Joker of the future, the plot twist was actually had a plan to be immortal as well. So that's why he's like young in that version. He had a younger body.
So what would
yeah,
be your favorite and least favorite Batman movies, Therese?
Oh, mine. Well, at the moment, my favorite movie is The Dark Knight. Although I am looking forward to the newest Batman. I did a
the trailer looks good. Trailer looks good.
Looks
Yeah.
promising.
The
So
Twilight guy.
Yeah, I mean, I know people know him as a Twilight guy. But Robert Pattinson's a decent actor because I remember seeing him in Harry Potter, and he doesn't do a bad job. It's just I don't think anybody could have made a Twilight script better than what it was. I mean,
My
you know,
armor is all glittery. Look at
yeah,
my
you
armor.
can, yeah. I mean, you can only work with what you've been given. So props to him for handling it the way that he did. But now that series is finished, I think. I don't know if they're making other movies at this point. I guess that's up to Stephanie Meyer. But so yeah, not gonna lie, I wasn't quite sure whether or not he'd do a good job. Because I never really thought of him as Batman. But then I started seeing the images and I thought, okay, maybe not so bad. It's kind of like Kristen Stewart. Like when it was announced that she would be playing Diana, I wouldn't have made that connection myself. But then I seen images like, okay, well, let's just see how that goes. So I'm willing to give it the chance. And the trailer does look good, and I'm willing to see where they take it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know whether or not I can see, was it Chris Farley? Is it whoever's the new Penguin? I don't know whether or not
Isn't it Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell. So yeah, Colin Farrell.
Yeah, he looks unrecognizable.
Yeah, he looks very different. So I think he might do really well in acting. It's just when I think of Penguin, I guess if they tried to do like what they did with Danny DeVito, it probably wouldn't have worked these days.
That was terrifying.
Yeah, that was freaky. And that's only a performance Danny DeVito could do, because Danny DeVito is one of a kind. So I guess he wants to take it on his own character, which we'll see. We'll see.
Chloe
Chloe
version is actually from the live action TV show Gotham. Anyone watch the live Gotham?
Is that the one where Bruce Wayne is a kid? And
yes, and Jim Gordon is the. Yeah.
I've seen a couple of episodes of that actually. So that
have you watched? Yeah. Have you watched Batman Ninja? I want to watch it.
Batman Ninjago. Oh, Batman Ninja. Oh, the anime. You mean that?
The anime one.
I haven't, but I actually, now that you remind me, that I should.
It's crazy. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense, but it's enjoyable.
Okay.
He's supposed to be a member of the League of Assassins, right? So he kind of is a ninja, if you think about it.
I guess.
So I think maybe we got the wrong Batman movie. Make sure I'm just googling the right one, because there's the one where he actually goes back in time in the ninja period. All the villains have taken different territories, so that's why it doesn't make sense. It's a weird time travel thing.
The Joker in medieval armor, like.
Yeah, that's pretty sure. Yeah.
I remember seeing the trailer and it was in Jap. Yeah, I wasn't trained. I just followed up.
Yeah, I think we're talking about different ones. So yeah, this is the crazy. The top one is the one is another one that's more like this thing that was about Bruce is in the time as an assassin period where he was training under Ra's al Ghul. Well, that's different. But yeah. So it's like a time with it's just because of Gorilla Grodd machine that sent him to Japan. So and the villains arrived 2 years earlier, and Batman has to fight all of them. I just remember how crazy over the top it was.
All right, guys, just letting you know that we have 3 minutes left. I'm willing to create a new chat group just to extend this at least for another session so we can talk it all out.
Me too, because I feel like we barely got started here. Because I actually realized we haven't gone to the best Batman movie because I said I want to continue Matt's point, like Batman Rises, why it's the best one. I want to continue that on. But my best one is another trilogy is Batman Begins. It could be because I had low expectations because after Batman and Robin, but rewatching it, I actually feel like Batman Begins is the one that I feel is most influential, and just the beginning, the origin of it. It just has more heart, and it's actually still the most realistic Batman out of all of them. Although that's because it's very hard to make Batman realistic the further he goes because the better gadgets he has, but it's more grounded as well in like the philosophy about the origin of why to become Batman, like how anyone could become rich like that. Not too high tech and stuff. While the second and third one, it's like, too much dispense of disbelief, and it might work in the fictional fantasy ones that are more about the thing here. And Dark Knight Rises, of course, like it just had too many points where Bruce, like I say, because he said after the Dark Knight, and you feel like after watching the Dark Knight, because he says he's on the run, getting chased by dogs, everyone's doing thing. You think it'll be more focused on that instead of the big time skip where he turned out to have retired for a long time, which was still a good one because it was based on the Dark Knight Returns, the older Bruce Wayne, but then he was on a cane, then he wasn't through some weird medical mumbo jumbo, which I still don't fully understand, like a brace or something. He still had an injury. He's just preventing that. But I like the metaphor of that. In fact, I might say it's better than the Dark Knight in that regard. Like most of my friends don't like the Dark Knight Rises because of all the plot, well, not plot holes, but more like plot skip of logic, like how did Bruce return to Gotham after he jumped? Wait, Therese, can you came up spoilers because you still haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm fine with spoilers. It's fine.
Okay, we've got less than a minute anyway.
Okay.
So
all right, so I'm gonna end this session, and I'll see you guys soon.
Well, let's talk about the Dark Knight Rises. So I do prefer it over the Dark Knight because the Dark Knight was really at the top, and as you said, he had a more realistic approach, and Tom Hardy was definitely the good villain and more grounded and more relatable. But I think it was ruined because Talia turned out to be the real mastermind. I'm like, the thing is, I got spoiled before I saw it because the child actor said that I'm playing Talia, so that gave it away that Talia was the actual villain in the end, and even then Miranda and stuff. And there's just a lot of things that Bruce Wayne been broken, like realizing his company's going thing, and took who's the person, the sidekick that was actually Robin of the Dark Knight Rises. I forgot his name, but it was played by
John Blake.
That was his real name, because I thought he was a combination of Dick Grayson and Tim Drake, apparently, because how it worked out who Batman was the same way Tim Drake, although Tim Drake did more conclusive evidence besides like looking at Bruce's Wayne. But he was actually decent of what he was. And I said I did like the ending, but then people would hear of the Batman sacrificing himself. Like, well, okay, I get why he kind of wanted to do it to make a symbol and her, but why would he do this? That Alfred and everyone else that he's close to, like, make him think he's dead. That will mess them up. That's just mean to do. Like, okay, maybe for average civilians, you want to give like a hero hope and stuff that someone sacrificed themselves, but then you let your close ones think they're dead. That was just cruel. And in terms of,
I think he realized that the longer Batman was around, the more he could be used as people could be used as a weakness against him. So he always wanted to obviously get rid of the criminals and stuff, but all of his lovers and his friends and stuff could be used as pawns to make him follow their demands, or like see, like, the Dark Knight, same thing happened with Harvey Dent and Rachel. And I think that was the reason that he sort of retired. But he also did it in a way that, like, citizens of the city would have hope, and they would, you know, they would take up the fight against the criminals on their own as a group, rather than him having to do it all himself. You see it in that last part with the fight where the police are marching on Bane's men, and then what's it called? They get the Wayne Enterprises tanks, and they're about to shoot at him, and then Batman comes in like it kills him. They're like, yeah, Batman, woo! Like, so like it gives them the bravery and the courage to like charge and attack. But the thing is, like, even if he stayed in Gotham, he's not always going to be there. Like, he was an aging man. Like, he's not always going to be able to save them. So I think he tried to maybe encourage them to take up the fight themselves and defend themselves,
Okay, I did say that was the purpose of Vince, but man, he's close on like Alfred and Jim Gordon and Fox. They all thought he was dead. Like, maybe tell them at least they were alive. I mean, Fox eventually worked it out because all the parts still worked. And he told Selena, the Catwoman, that he was still alive right away. Like, everyone else that was close to him thought he was dead. So her part, okay, that's for the average civilians. What about the people that are close to him? It's a bit of a jerk move, which is kind of true. Also, one point you point out that the side one does apply here. Batman should have used his gadgets against Bane. Okay, like, he's going to use it against normal criminals, like batarangs and stuff, but he's not going to use it against Bane. And he does use it in comic books as well. That's why fighting hand to hand, especially the first time, was a bit stupid. He had lots of gadgets and tranquilizers. In fact,
did use some of them against.
I got that from how it should have ended. Okay, when Batman actually used tranquilizers against Bane instead of fighting hand to hand to win. Not just a fight.
He did. If you actually analyze the two fights that him and Bane have in the films, he has the fight with him in the sewers, and when he starts getting beaten, he actually does use the gadgets. He uses the thing to turn off the lights, and then he also uses the smoke bombs and stuff. But unfortunately, Bane was raised in that that whole thing in the ground, so he already had experience with fighting in the dark. But for the final fight, I think that the reason Batman didn't use any gadgets was because he wanted to defeat Bane on his own terms, like, he wanted to defeat him with his brain. Like, you see that he's like, oh, he's getting absolutely owned by him. And then he starts like attacking the mask because he realizes that that's his weakness and that will cause him pain.
Oh no, in the second fight, Batman was always earning Bane. Like, Bane didn't have a chance because Batman was more fit.
No, he was not. He was getting owned.
Okay,
at the start,
Batman Dark Knight Rises, but what I remember is that the very beginning where Bane was like, "You're
dead,"
and Bane's like, "I jumped out of the hole, boom, bang, bang!" Like, because Bane
the only time he starts winning is when he grabs Bane's hand. He's like, and they're like all both like sort of like pushing their strength against each other, and then Batman punches his mask, and Bane throws him into the pillar, and then he starts punching holes in it.
Okay, we're gonna rewatch that because I really don't remember that way. But
that was Batman, and then
like,
Batman
he has other gadgets as well. Okay, like I said, like, besides the gas is smoke in the first fight, I said, I mean, you can argue Curve Honor, but then Bruce doesn't really care when it comes to normal criminals when he does other gadgets like batarangs and the tranquilizers one. And also, I want to point out that Bane didn't actually know about Jim Gordon's letter until later, so the plan might have gone differently if he had the letter. It might still work, but the problem is, though, how do the people know that the letter was authentic? He just read the letter out. It could have been literally written by anybody when it caused the riot. I mean, yes, reasonable misinformation where that can happen so easily, but yeah, that was a lot of issues there. Not to mention how Bruce lost his company. I mean, yes, he had their fingerprints, but maybe Bruce should have reported, my fingerprints are stolen. Do not use that as authentication for anything.
But Bruce was despondent after the loss of Rachel. That's why he was upset. And then he had to kill Harvey as well. That's going to take an emotional toll on anyone.
Yeah.
It's going to take an emotional and mental
toll. The films is this inconsistency about the kill rule because yes, I'm not gonna kill this criminal for racial ghoul, but I'll burn the whole house, killing everyone else around it, and then racial goose left. I'm like, that's a bit and like I am not gonna kill you, but I won't save you. Eva is kind of pushing it, but the Joker does more worse. He's like, nope, I still won't kill you at all. And Harvey Dent, like, yeah, he's just crazy, but nope, I'm still gonna kill you by accident. Like, there's probably many ways to disarm the gun besides tackling him at that point.
Are you talking about Dark Knight? Are you talking about the Dark Knight, the second one?
Yes, like the Batman's inconsistent with his no kill rule in the Nolan trilogy. That's one thing that I'm criticized. It's so inconsistent in general about where he's going to kill or not.
What's wrong with Joker? Heath Ledger Joker is pretty good.
Yeah, but I said Batman is not going to kill him, but he ends up killing Two-Face. Like he went out his way not to kill the Joker, but he didn't do anything to stop himself from killing the Two-Face.
It was kind of him just bending the rules around the words at that point, I think.
Yeah, but I'm saying that was like the exact same time. Like it's like five.
Oh yeah, he's a
5 minutes
hypocrite.
later,
Yeah,
Joker to Two-Face. And the Joker like literally did kill Rachel. Yes, you can argue the semantics, but I'm gonna say the Joker actually did kill Rachel. And I want to point out that Joker's plan was a bit elaborate. Okay, and he said, "I'm just improvising. There's no way you can improvise all this if you're just thinking by improvising. You have to have planned everything. Okay, creative thinking, like which was good in film itself, but it makes you wondering, like, yes, I crave me and blah blah blah. But like I said, I did enjoy for what it is, but if you think too much about it, Batman Begins doesn't have too much of that issue because not to mention I just like the origin of like building character, how character believes that, and not to mention the belief that the Batman is more of the symbol of himself because he's just a man if he's not in a mask. That's why I just love that. And not to mention Alfred and Bruce Wayne's relationship in Batman Begins is just great. Like how he will not give up on him, like treat him like a father.
No.
And
Batman's so much more than that without the mask. You can literally quote Tony Stark, billionaire, philanthropist.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember the third one.
Yes, it's Iron Man 3, but it was actually in Spider-Man Homecoming. He said when Spider said, "I'm nothing without the suit." When Tony Stark says, "If you're nothing without the suit, you don't deserve the suit." And that's why.
No. I'm talking about the Avengers when Captain America and Iron Man are having that argument, and Iron Man goes, "Oh, you're just a what is it? You're just a bottle."
That's the first Avengers film. But basically, he's saying like, we're about to see why I'm a billionaire, philanthropist, and something else.
Yeah. So that's exactly what Bruce is without the mask.
He's actually playing without the mask. In fact, you need the argument that Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman's the real attitude because personality-wise, I think Batman being serious, Bruce Wayne being serious is the real one. Why he pretends to be a billionaire, that's the mask that people won't suspect him. And that's like the real Robins when we know what Bruce is like when he's not pretending to be a billionaire playboy. In fact, you have a better chance of saying Green Arrow is the one that's actually like that because Green Arrow is actually a drunken person in the comic book version, not the TV version. The TV version is actually more Bruce anyway.
What about Green Lantern? Green Lantern is
God,
it's a similar
movie doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm talking about the hero. We don't
talk
want to
about
that movie. It's not really relevant, but basically the Green Lantern is actually 3 of them. So yeah, this is a series one and the one that John, the main one, he's a bit more of a Joker there. Although compared to the other one, which I don't know his name, he's more of an aggressive Joker. But yeah, the black one is this. I should know his name because I feel racist saying that. What's his name? Okay, sorry, I'm gonna check. Okay, sorry. Yeah, he was actually the best one because he was in the Justice. John Stewart. He's my favorite Green Lantern, which sounds bad because I didn't know his name, but that's because I ain't watched him from the Justice League cartoon.
Wasn't Green Lantern only in Justice League for like 10 seconds when he fights Steppenwolf?
Well, in the side cut, it was actually Darkseid they were fighting. It just was.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but he was only in it for a little. It wasn't Zeus there and everything. It was like
yes, this is how the battle was done. Yeah. But yeah, I said though, I'm just trying to go back on topic though. Like, yes, I said Batman Begins. It said like it said he's just trying to become something different and trying to rebuild himself after doing that. Like losing his parents and just the emotional journey that was. It's just more relatable. And Neil Listen as the real Ra's al Ghul was just also acting like the misdirection about how Ra's al Ghul isn't immortal when compared to the comic books, but it's more of a metaphor about the name. So like in the fight was actually pretty decent, and and Bruce Wayne's because back their origins was just really good about that. And
Liam Neeson was a very unexpected villain. Like I'd never expected Liam Neeson to be a villain. He's always the good guy. So that was definitely unexpected. But I mean, he played it quite well. Like he kind of played it as a sympathetic villain. Like when you think about the reason that he's doing it, he's trying to basically cleanse Gotham of all the corruption. It's kind of maybe it's hard, because you got villains that are psychopaths, and then you got villains who actually have sympathetic, you can kind of sympathize with the reasoning they do stuff. It's obviously not a good thing, but like Thanos, you can even sympathize with Thanos really, because he's realizing that the world is so dependent on resources there's not enough to do. So he makes a completely neutral decision to get rid of half the population. He doesn't say kill all the rich people or get rid of the poor people. He's just half of half. So I feel like Ra's al Ghul kind of had maybe not the best maybe not the best sort of decision making or the best action to sort of fix the problem, but maybe it was the only way that he could sort of rationalize being able to fix Gotham's corruption.
Yeah.
Maybe I just sympathize with all the villains all the time. I don't know.
The thing is with the problem is that he was pretty much corrupting everyone. He was in charge. So he was the one that kind of caused corruption. And it was right because of Bruce Wayne's death that got postponed so much, because basically, Ra's al Ghul is kind of close to the problem he made that he wants to solve anyway. But I said the problem
don't you think that Bruce is kind of stupid though, because he's always trying to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and then every single time he does, he's betrayed.
Okay, well, Batman Begins, it was literally when he was in prison, so Ra's al Ghul training him, he didn't really have much choice in that regard. And he actually was who he trusted in Batman Begins will help Alfred, Lucius Fox. They just played blind eye. And number two, okay, Harvey Dent was trustworthy at that point of time, so I don't think he got to deal with that. Anyone that he actually trusted betray him. It was actually Dark Knight Rises, which is your favorite, where he was actually still being trust, with Catwoman being a bit cautious and the bank stuff, and Talia. But I mean, so because Talia kind of made him desperate for the something, but it was so many times where there was maybe you shouldn't be too trusty in this kind of thing.
Well, honestly, if I was Batman, if I was Bruce at the end of that movie, I would have taken off and lived in France as well, because I would have been screw defending all these people. I just keep getting bloody hurt again. They can figure it out themselves. I'm gonna go live with my riches.
Where he got hurt so much, it was a joke that he probably should have died. He got stabbed. He could still fly a plane, but he's Batman, so I want to overlook that. But one theme I just realized now talking about this is that Dark Knight Rises did kind of just copy Batman Begins, the surprise villain with Talia, and Talia just wants to complete his father's work, which his father started. And it's about him finding himself after falling down. That's what the Dark Knight Rises. He fell down again, just had to recover yet again. So that's why it feels like it's less original that way. But at the same time, it did pretty decently well. But I said Batman Begins also had the Scarecrow as best, because the Dark Knight Rises Scarecrow was just doing the judge thing. Okay, so do you want to be mercy or death? Each way you can walk to the ice anyway, makes a difference. Mercy, you can walk to the ice. Death by ice. You die either way. That was actually kind of, hilarious. I think that was intentional though. But not to mention about Dark Knight Rises didn't really do the themes of because the theme of Dark Knight is should you tell the truth, I felt. And then the thing is though, the debt act, they didn't show the good parts, all the criminals are gone, but if it was that simple, why didn't he do it before Harvey Dent? I felt like maybe there should have been some innocent people that got arrested with the Dent Act, but they never show it. It was supposed to be like a dystopia, utopia before Batman came back from that. And he only came back because of the villain that's coming up, not because of anything else. Was the world better off before that? I thought that was what I was trying to question, but we never got time for that. In fact, I feel like the Dark Knight Rises is more like because Christopher Nolan was trying to fish it off, so he kind of did rush some plot points compared to him taking his time. Because I don't blame him anyway, because Heath Ledger just died and he had to add the scenes knowing that Heath Ledger was dead. That would have been traumatizing to do. So I don't blame him. Okay, are you guys frozen?
No, just listening.
No, no,
We're
we
listening.
are in studio.
Yeah, so good.
Hamlet 2.0.
Yeah. So yeah, there was actually a lot of things I like in Rises. Yeah. So I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, Batman Begins is where it was started and just said it. So that's been more grounded. Dark Knight Rises was more of a over the top version. Yes, I do say that Tom Hardy was a better villain than the Joker in overall. But yeah. So yeah, I just felt like it was a bit more.
I think
rushed
Batman Begins was great because we got to see the start of Bruce's journey, but I feel like that's probably going to be where the Batman with Robert Pattinson is going to be good because Robert Pattinson is only like 30 or something, so like it's going to be good to see him like if you watch the trailer, he takes like 17 moves to knock someone out, so it's going to be like really raw, sort of like young Batman, so he might actually get his ass kicked a lot in that movie, so it'll be like refreshing to see a Batman that isn't like
Super
physically
tank. Just
plow,
just like a Superman. Because
so that'll be that'll be good
for pacing though, because if it takes too long you might get bored. Like it's more realistic, like that's the joke in Iron Man 2 where Black Widow took everyone else in one move while the security guard took like forever to take out one guy. That's actually more realistic.
Yeah, Happy Hogan.
Just watching all the time. Is it good because it was a good contrast to show how over the top Black Widow is in power levels, as to show how a normal guy would take out one guy.
Well, I think it's good. I think that's good that they chose Robert Pattinson because he's quite young. So they're probably planning a trilogy of films with him, or potentially more. Whereas I think Ben Affleck is only coming back for the Flash movie as Batfleck.
Yes, he actually said so that he doesn't want to be Batman anymore. He's filming
too old.
experience with what?
He's too old. He's like 50 or something.
Is he?
So
Yeah, but still,
there's not that much that they can.
Probably is.
There's not that
But
much
he
they
kind
can
of
do
works
with him
in
anymore.
this like side version because this is supposed to be a Batman who's jaded because of Jason Todd died and everything bad has happened. So that's what it worked for that time period of that. So
He's 49.
Yeah, so it kind of makes sense in that era. Not to mention he was technically, because Batman and Superman was a long time, like 40 something. But
well, that's what they've done. That's what they've done, Jimmy.
Batman anymore because people kept pestering about it, and so he had his chance because this Batman movie he was supposed to direct it and write it for himself. So he had his chance, and now he doesn't want to do it. So you should definitely let Ben Affleck be. He doesn't have the passion for the character. It's not like Andrew Garfield, where he clearly loves being Spider-Man and would probably jump at the chance to finish off his trilogy that he never really got. But
because of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, the ending when Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2 sucks. That's why you can't complete it. And plus the box office is getting lower, so they need to reboot it to change it to Tom Harley.
Tom Holland, not Harley.
Yeah, but the Batman is Batman is pretty good. Well, the new one is not part of the DCEU. That's good. That's good because they're doing their own. So I'm happy about it.
I don't know. They might just change because the Flashpoint movie is to reboot everything, so they might do that. Which is why the Zack Snyder Justice League might become irrelevant because of because he ended in cliffhanger with another possible future, but this is on par with DC. Every time this is a possible future, someone just goes back in time and changes everything anyway. So I gave up on keeping track of timeline consistencies. Like,
Well, I feel
Okay, I
like
think-
they've already, like your point just before, Jimmy, where you were saying that Ben Affleck is playing the jaded Batman. I feel like we've already got that from the 3 movies, so it's going to be good to like. Don't you guys agree? It's going to be good to see Rob Pattinson play that like young, inexperienced, like Batman that hasn't really sort of found his place in the world. You could kind of like put it as if it's like the middle of like smack back between Gotham and then current Ben Affleck Batman.
Yeah, definitely be a interesting iteration because I don't think he's probably the youngest Batman that we've seen so far, right? Even if we go back to like what Adam West, even then I don't think he was that young.
How
So
old was Christian Bale? Like 30,
Christian Bale.
38, 39 or something?
I think it's
like,
30, 34, 40 something. I don't know.
but at
No,
the
I mean,
time
like,
of filming the
2005.
he was born in 1974. If anyone can quickly do
So-
the math.
It'll
Yeah,
be 30 something,
30,
2000
30.
something, 2009 or something.
So older than
God.
what Pattinson is.
He's 47.
He's 47 now. So he would have been in his
30s.
mid-30s. Yeah, mid-30s. So he would have been at least a little bit older than Pattinson. What is
I think
now.
he looks older. He still looks older in Batman.
Yeah, I think it's
begins
just because he
than-
just sounds tired and old and grumpy. That's just
Yeah.
I think that's
No,
I mean-
because you have Christian Bale, he had to gain weight to get the thing, but then when he actually gained weight, like you ever did, because he actually was on like really muscular, so he had to lose the muscles after you overworked for it. So that's why
I think he had to like lose heaps of weight for the
American Psycho.
machinist as well.
Oh, I've just recently seen
Like-
photos, which is kind of uncanny, but it's like, yeah, it was very extreme. And
He's a great character actor. Like
Mm,
he really
he
like
commits.
Yeah, he's my
Yeah.
favorite actor actually,
Mm,
Christian
I don't
Bale.
understand
so-
why. Although, I mean, with that said, I definitely don't recommend having that drastic weight drop.
Has anyone seen The Fighter? He looks so skinny in that.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I've seen that movie. That was one good. I watched it in the cinemas as well. So yeah,
Great
I
movie.
mean, yeah.
Can anyone actually do the
Batman?
Batman voice?
I'm not gonna.
Why
do
so
that.
Christian-
Batman.
Batman. Where is
Because I'm Batman.
But yeah, in
Because I'm
terms of Robert Pattinson, I said I'm going for a wait and see, because if I learn anything about films, is that the trailer always looks good, but the film could go either way.
Yeah,
It's actually
correct.
rare
Yeah,
for a
correct,
trailer to
yeah.
be
Could not
bad, I like
agree
the
more,
film.
Jimmy. Could not agree more. Could not agree more.
Yeah,
Detective Pikachu was a letdown.
I like it.
yeah. I mean, that is the point of the trailer, to showcase the best scenes and to get you excited. So they can be misleading. If
I feel like
if you're not
I
careful.
feel like whoever creates the trailer is arguably a better editor than whoever makes the movie.
I would
because-
definitely.
if-
It's a
if
whole
they're
art
different.
form. Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah,
art form. in
because
Remember
itself.
you've
for
gotta-
Suicide Squad? Remember, because Suicide Squad ended up being changed by people who made the trailer, and that actually led to a lot of issues of the Suicide Squad, the first one.
But if you don't include enough exciting stuff, then people don't want to go watch it. But then if you include too much, there's going to be the hardcore fans. You're like, I want to be surprised.
Mm.
Like it's just.
It's a balance.
Oh man,
It's very
Yeah.
But look,
delicate.
you can balance the show a bit without giving away too much. Like the Star Wars trailers are good examples of that. They show a little bit, but hardly anything, but enough to get you excited. All the Star Wars trailers, like every single film, the trailers are good. Like it didn't show you much, but it gave you excited no matter what.
I think the best one is the trailer would be the Star Wars Force Awaken teaser. Is the best one
And it hardly shows anything at all. It doesn't show
because
any plot points,
they show the X-wings. That's like the most excited, and then showing them Millennium Falcon. They show it, so I'm very
Yeah,
happy.
that's hardly anything. That's hardly any part of the plot at all. It doesn't spoil anything. Compared
I have no
to
idea
Iron
what
Man,
movies you're talking about.
Yeah, is that the
Andrea?
very first one in the 1980s? That
No,
you can
it's
tell
just
I'm
the
not-
Force Awakens. That's episode 7.
it's the new one.
Force Awakens is
Oh.
episode 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can tell how much of a Star Wars fan I am by.
No.
No.
The last Star Wars movie came out in 2005. It was Revenge of the Sith. That's
Okay.
all.
Oh,
I
yeah,
Clone
yeah.
Wars.
Okay.
Revenge of
When I
the-
count the Clone Wars movie or the Lego movies,
Oh, I count Rogue One actually. Rogue One counts.
the Solo movie,
The sequel trilogy. The sequel
It
trilogy is
doesn't
dead to me.
exist. Oh, okay.
the Solo
exist.
movie, or the Mandalorian. Or
Oh,
Boba
the
Fett.
Mandalorian TV series, arguably.
It is.
Okay, what's the Solo movie?
I
Yep.
cannot wait for Obi-Wan Kenobi series and also Ahsoka. Oh, they're gonna be good. Just forget all the crap that J.J. Abrams made. Place our trust in Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
No, don't blame the JJ Abrams. Blame Disney company. He ruined
Blame
it.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Okay, look,
Oh,
I feel
God.
like okay,
I know this is going on, but
guys,
I
I feel like okay.
We need another episode just about Star Wars.
I know, but I still
Yes, that's
remember
what I
she
was
made
gonna
this
say,
freaking she made this PSA or announcement, and she said the words "fade in" because she
Sorry,
was
what?
reading this. She said the words "fade in" because she was reading the scripts, and nobody corrected her, and they use that as part of their cut, and I don't understand how they missed that. Like she made
What's
it
fate in?
fade in, like you know the directions on the script fade in.
Oh, she said, oh
Yeah.
God. Oh man. I don't know how George Lucas handpicked her to take over Star Wars because
Is he? Is he? So he's the one that's still with Star Wars because I remember there was someone else that left and made his own company.
no, he sold Star Wars. He
That's
Lucasfilm
why.
to Disney.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But he actually handpicked Kathleen Kennedy to take over Lucasfilm for him. So just get rid of her, fly Jon Favreau in,
Yeah, fuck
and it
off.
will all be good. And Dave Filoni can be head of production or something.
Yeah.
because
She was
the
responsible for good
Mandalorian-
and bad stuff as well. Like she did approve the Mandalorian as well. She did.
Yeah,
do
all we
help
need
with
is her
Rogue
tick of
One as
approval.
well.
We just need the tick of approval for her to fund all the Star Wars shows we want, and then she can go away to her mansion. That's all I
Yeah.
want. Jon
look-
Favreau, everyone celebrate Jon Favreau. That guy's brought us so much. He directed the first Iron Man film.
I know.
That's the
Oh,
reason
yeah.
we
Top
have
of good
all these
remake.
amazing Marvel films now.
I'll give
Yeah.
you. That would be you can cut. Thanks, Blade.
And he was actually supposed to do the first
Oh,
Avengers
Wesley
film,
Snipes.
but he actually
Yes.
got burnt out.
How do we all feel about Mahershala Ali playing Blade?
As
though?
Blade, I don't know because I still am partial.
Wesley Snipes is the OG.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I
It-
can't say can't say it like the third one.
Mahershala Ali was good as Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. If
Okay.
anyone saw that.
Yeah, I
But
saw
I-
the Cage. First 2 seasons. Wait, it's only been 2 seasons.
Did you
Yeah.
think Cottonmouth was all right?
Look, I said as a character, yes, but as a villain for Luke Cage, like Luke Cage is indestructible. Like Cottonmouth didn't even have a chance to like the 6th episode in when he had a weapon. Otherwise, it was like, yeah, and then Cottonmouth just dies halfway through.
I
which
thought
is
he got
good.
killed rather easily. All his sister does is push him and he falls out the thing and dead.
Yes, but she was angry and provoked him. I think it was more than just a push because she said, I did not want it. Like 3 times. So that was just one push. I just didn't watch it again. But I remember like it was abrupt because he made her angry and it was really sudden, really aggressive anger that she was holding in because she was raped by the uncle. And then I think
I
Cottonmouth had to
understand.
kill the uncle as a punishment, like shoot himself as a family thing. And then in season 2, it turns out she got pregnant from the rape. So yeah, that was even more dark than I
I
realized.
thought
think it's Star
Bushmaster
Wars.
was quite a good villain.
Jimmy, are you talking about Star Wars? Which Star Wars?
No,
is it?
Luke
No, Luke
Cage
Cage.
for Matthew. See,
Luke-
okay, let's go back to Batman.
Man,
now.
yeah,
This
'cause we're
Batman
we're
chat
under-
changed
yes.
quite a lot. Yeah.
You know, if you're familiar with live streams, this happens a lot, but that's okay. We've got 10 minutes left. We will drive it back to Batman.
Okay, let's just summarize. Like, I don't really have changed my point. I still say Batman Begins is the best live action. Batman Beyond is the best one overall because I said like it's just more grounded and Rise. The problems I addressed was still there, like in Dark Knight and Rises. There's just too many points, and not to mention though, some that Batman Begins still has the best one-line quotes because it's even out of context. They're good lines, while the Dark Knight and Rises. They're good for the context of the film, but cannot be used generically. Like, we're the hero the Goblin deserves, but not needs. They can't put that in any context. While Batman Begins had the lines like, why do we fall down? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. It is not what
I think
is deep inside us that is important, but our actions that define who we are. And those lines I just love to use in real life, and it's actually good for motivation. I can't use that for any good lines for The Dark Knight or Batman Rises. That's one of the
Why
reasons why
so
Batman
serious?
will be my favorite one.
Wow, so
Serious.
serious.
Yes, he's set in real life though. Well,
I think you have
I
to
think
look
the
at what
best-
age you watched it as well. So
I
I
think
watched
so.
Batman Begins when I was only 13. Like, and honestly, the Scarecrow guy played by Cillian Murphy scared the bejeebers out of me. Like, I had nightmares for like a week. But then you watch the other ones in like 2012. I think Batman Rises came out. So, 7 years later, I was 20 years old. So you
Mm.
definitely have like different appreciation for different parts of the film. And the action scenes and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like we can probably all agree that collectively the Nolan trilogy is the best
Yes.
series.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes.
That's right.
Well,
basically-
by default, because it's the only Batman trilogy, everything was either like.
well, it basically was the one that revived this the franchise, because everybody after, I guess it was Batman and all thought it was much dead in the water at that point.
Yeah, 'cause-
So,
Because the four Batman films beforehand, there were like two of them was Tim Burton's, and the third and fourth one, and you had the Alfred. That's the same thing that made it continue but it was not a trilogy. That's why the Nolan trilogy is still by default the only trilogy. I
Mm.
mean, Ben Affleck is not the two films he's in. He's not even the main solo character in those two films. So he's shared one with Superman and one with the Justice League. So yeah.
I just want to see Alfred Special Forces training in action. Like, I'd love to see Alfred fighting alongside.
There's an
Bruce.
Alfred
Yeah.
Pennyworth show if you want to, or you can watch Gotham where you see more of it.
Yeah,
So,
like
Matthew-
Michael Caine was great, but he's just so
Yeah.
like.
So
Oh.
you
too
wanna-
sophisticated.
so-
Yeah, I don't see him as a fighter.
So
He's too much of a.
So Matthew, you want to see Alfred doing a kung fu style of martial art to do strong, other than being butler.
Yeah. I think Jimmy's right. I need to go watch Gotham. I think he fights in that.
Or you want to see one bit where he bashes Superman in the comics? I can show you that scene in Injustice. It happened in Injustice.
How did he bash Superman?
Because
Bash what?
you read Injustice, right? You know about Injustice Universe?
Kryptonite's got to be involved, right?
No.
Oh no.
Basically, in the Injustice game, there's actually pills that enhance your strengths. Alfred took the pills and sucker punched Superman. Because Superman was in Injustice. It's the universe where Joker tricked Superman into killing a pregnant Lois Lane and blew up Metropolis, causing Superman to kill the Joker and slowly become a dictator over 5 years. You haven't heard of Injustice?
No,
Nope.
sorry.
It's a
No,
famous
sorry.
video game, and it's an animated cartoon now. Like they made an animated movie. So it's a different. By the way, it's a different Earth. By the way, in fact, in the video game, it was resolved by bringing the good Superman from the main universe to fight the Injustice Superman. But yeah, in the comic book, it explores in 5 years how he slowly became a dictator. He didn't become a dictator right away just because he's killed Lois Lane died, but it led him to the path. It's actually a really good read because it actually makes a moral grayness about how someone slowly starts with good intentions, but you can also argue that Batman made him worse by fighting against him every step of the way, made him more desperate. Because after Metropolis died, he would just want to, protect the world. So at first, Superman stops foreign wars, like interferes with foreign wars, and which is actually a good thing. He overthrows dictators. But then that causes problems of, power vacuums. So he has to force an army to maintain the power vacuum. Also, like he was actually like invading American politics, which American politics did not like. And that's why like it's Batman saying like you can't interfere with humans this far. You have to let them have free will and blah, blah, blah. That's some argues like they're taking the free will of other civilians. That's why it's like a moral debate. The video games show it more like, he's just crazy dictator because it just gives to 5 years.
AKA the
moral-
Sokovia Accords.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a discussion. Yeah, that one, like they had a discussion like that in Civil War. Not to mention, Civil War was the best adaptation of a comic book thing because it's actually better than the comic book version. The comic book version didn't even have that kind of conversation. That felt like more genuine stuff. Of course, they had to be out of character to be fighting each other. While Civil War actually did a good job of making them feel more grounded. Because both Iron Man and Captain America in the comic books were extreme versions of themselves. overly extreme.
Okay.
Well,
under,
yeah, it's more-
yeah. Under 3
So
minutes.
it's 2 minutes left.
2 minutes.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
that's enough. I think that's enough Batman stuff.
Well, I
This is a
mean,
long-
any final words? Any final words?
Andrew's ready for bed.
Andrew's ready.
Okay, I'll just conclude why I still say that Batman and Robin is still better than Batman vs Superman. As I said, like Batman and Superman had hype, okay, and not to mention in relation to Civil War, everyone thought that, oh no, Civil War doesn't stand a chance against Batman and Superman because they're two of the best characters fighting against each other. So Civil War was the underdog, but did more for it. It also had more character motivations. Batman and Superman should have been an easier idea, but messed it up completely. Like they actually squeezed 5 films into one thing when one of them was just enough. And instead, they had too many convolutions. Batman and Robin, I can just laugh and enjoy it, like the absurdity of it. But you turn off your brain and enjoy it. Batman and Superman, you can't do either. If you think too much, it's not do that. If you turn off your brain, you don't even know what's going on at all.
I'm gonna
So
get you a
that's
Batman vs Superman shirt for Christmas, Jimmy. Just
Oh,
to
yeah.
troll you.
I usually have the Blu-ray at the Slider cut, so
Jimmy, you fall in love with you always loving the Batman. Are you gay with Batman?
Asking the hard questions, aren't you, Andrew?
No, because I said sexuality is not a choice, but if maybe it was, I might be. But no, I can't feel any sexual desires to have sex with him. Although I wouldn't mind having his power level.
I think most people.
Oh, yeah.
You have sex. If you have sex with Batman, you get power. What?
No,
I'm
that's
just
not
saying,
what
I
he
like
was.
to feel empowered.
You
I
know,
feel
like
empowered to be like him. But still, although I do find that
I just love that we're gonna be
more
ending
attractive,
the this is how.
I've actually been
how-
watching
how-
Batman as well. So I actually enjoy watching
Enjoy,
Batwoman.
guys. You know, thanks for listening. Let us know what your thoughts are on on all the Batman movies. Which one was your favorite? How do you think it's gonna go now with the newest Batman movie coming out? I guess it's this year. Hopefully,
Well, I heard that the original cut is 4 hours long test screening, so they're gonna have
Oh, okay.
a good air
Okay, out of time,
Hours.
Jimmy. Out of time, Jimmy. Time to-
Okay,
Thanks.
so
See you
we'll catch you
guys.
next time. Thanks again, Matthew, for joining us.
Bye.
No
It was a
worries.
great
Thanks,
time.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.